I'll take the opportunity of the Speaker's presence to respond to some of the things that he said.
Finally, with the lights back on, this body's returning to our regular legislative session. We have a lot of work to do. My colleagues on this side of the chamber are ready and eager to get back to our urgent legislative work that we promised the American people we would do. The Democrats had all the Epstein files in their possession for 4 long years under the Biden presidency. The Biden Department of Justice had these files, and no one on this side who is breathless today about the urgency of this release ever said a word about it. And it was the Democrats who could have urged President Biden's Department of Justice to go beyond prosecuting just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, but they didn't do it. And so it's a fair question to ask today, why now?
In the very presence of the victims and the survivors who come to join us today, the Speaker said that now would be a time we should be working on urgent legislative work. Mr. Speaker, justice is urgent legislative work. The truth is urgent legislative work.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and let me ask you something. What do you call a guy who spent months screaming about transparency, demanding the truth, pounding the table about justice, and then the second he has the power to release the Epstein files, he does absolutely nothing? I'll tell you what, you don't call that leadership. You sure as hell don't call that patriotism, and you damn sure don't call it protecting victims or defending family values. What you call that is a cover-up.
The Speaker says, why now? Why now? Well, Mr. Speaker, you were the one who refused to swear in Adelita Grajova for 50 days. We would have done it 50 days ago, but she provided the 218th signature on the discharge petition. So why now? It was because of your dilatory tactics, your delay, your postponement of it.
Donald Trump could release the Epstein files right friggin' now. So why are we going through all of this mess? In the excuses. No more stalling. No more lies about protecting victims while you're lying straight to their faces, Mike. The only people Mike Johnson is protecting are Donald Trump, billionaires, and the people who enabled a child trafficking empire. Because they're all complicit in the cover-up.
The gentleman says that there are not sufficient protections. There are protections in the bill for the victims to make sure that their names will be redacted. And yet we hear even the Speaker of the House of Representatives openly inviting the U.S. Senate to start finger painting on this bill, which we have waited more than 5 months to bring to the floor. The Senate should pass the bill exactly as it's written. The President should sign it exactly as he said he would when he finally changed his mind. And the Epstein file must be released. Moreover, if the President is serious about what he's saying, he's got the power to release the Epstein file right now. Nobody's stopping him. It's within his possession. It's within his control. He can release the whole thing, and he can redact the names of the victims and others who are innocent in this process.
There's nothing different about today than yesterday in Mike Johnson's world. He's protecting the same people he's always protected. He's been running the same red herring routine for months. Point over here, distract over there, scream about Democrats, pretend he's the hero, while he shields the very people tied to this empire. And here's the part he doesn't want anyone to say out loud. He knows damn well the investigations Trump is trying to launch against Democrats right now are the same excuse they used to block Biden from releasing anything back then. You can't release files during active investigations, and they know that. That's why the hypocrisy is so loud, it's deafening. The faces change, the talking points change, the scapegoat changes, but the lie stays exactly the same. So Mike, don't play confused. Don't play innocent. You're just out of excuses.
Speaker Johnson said that these are unspeakable evils. Well, because of the bravery and the invincible courage of the women who've joined us today, they're no longer unspeakable. They're spoken. They're articulated. The cat is out of the bag, and we know what's been going on for decades. It's been a double standard of justice, going all the way back to Alex Acosta, who later got rewarded with a cabinet appointment in the Trump administration. Alex Acosta had a 60-count federal indictment ready to go against all kinds of people for an interstate sex trafficking conspiracy with solicitation, with child sex abuse, all of it. And he traded that 60-count federal indictment for 1 count in state court. And Jeffrey Epstein ended up getting the sweetest of sweetheart deals ever on the plea bargain front. He was free from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to do whatever he wanted and continuing to perpetrate his crimes and run his conspiracy. And then he would come and he would watch TV and spend the night in jail. And it was over in about a year after the rape and sexual abuse of hundreds and hundreds of girls, and he kept going and he kept at it. We want the whole truth to come out. This is the United States of America. Even the British monarchy wouldn't put up with this. How about the American democracy? How about we say, no way, we're not going to allow this cover-up to go on for one day more. And I'm glad the president changed his mind after pulling out all the stops to try to get one of our Republican colleagues to change their mind, to remove their name from the discharge petition. He gave up. And I want to salute the gentlelady from Colorado from having the courage to stand her ground in the Situation Room in the White House and say, no, she wasn't going to be bullied. No. So I'm glad the president changed his mind. But let's be clear, Mr. President, you've got the power today to release the entire file. That's what you called for. That's what Pam Bondi called for. That's what Kash Patel called for. So we don't need anybody calling for the Senate to slow things down for more weeks and more months. The American people have had it. We'll reserve.
You know what's crazy? Mike Johnson is over here saying, why now? Like they somehow forgot he was the one who blocked the 218th vote for 50 damn days. 50 days, the exact vote that would have forced this forward already. Really, Mike? Why now? It's because he finally ran out of ways to stall it. And this guy loves to wrap himself in Christian values like he's the moral compass of the country. But every time he starts preaching family values and purity...
You know what TYT has always been about? Taking on the corrupt, greedy establishment. For us, it's the corporate media. We've been fighting that fight for over 20 years. For the cell phone industry, it's the same story. A handful of massive corporations ripping you off. That's why we're partnering with Noble Mobile. They're the only wireless company with the same mission as ours, to fight back. Their No Bull plan offers unlimited data for just $50 per month. But here's the best part. For any data you don't use, you get cash back. Real money that you can spend however you want. Stop letting your unused data pad the pockets of billionaires. With Noble, you take control over your data. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT and our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan.
Everybody remembers the Grindr Wi-Fi crashes at the Republican National Convention, the double standards and the rumors, and the circus that seems to follow his party everywhere it goes. It's straight up hypocrisy. Spare us the Virtue Act, Mike. You don't get to delay justice for victims and then pretend you're some righteous warrior for truth and decency. Not when the whole country just watched you stall, dodge, and try to run out the clock on every victim you claim to want to protect. Donald Trump could release these files right now, today. No waiting, no process, no permission, right now. But he won't. And the second you understand that, the whole act falls apart. Because if this was really about justice or victims or truth, Trump would have pushed that button already. He hasn't. And no amount of Mike Johnson's spin is going to change it. The entire country saw what happened on that floor. Everyone watched Jamie Raskin stand up for those survivors. Women who have waited decades for justice, while men like him stalled, delayed, and protected the powerful. If Donald Trump were innocent, he'd release everything. If the party truly believed in family values and Christian principles, they'd prove it. But they won't, because it's all a lie. Think about this. Trump's people spent all campaign harping on the Epstein files and how they needed to be released right away. Patel, Bongino, Bondi, all of them out there pounding their chests like they were crusaders for the truth. Release the files. That was their whole brand. And then something seemed to happen. Pam Bondi claimed she was releasing the Epstein files in February, and when people called her out that none of it was new, she suddenly demanded that Kash Patel put something on her desk the next day. The FBI spent thousands of hours going through it, redacting it, reviewing it, and the second they realized what was actually in there, Dead silence. Crickets. Nothing. Because they went through it and realized Donald Trump is all over it. Trump is in those files. And that's when everything changed. Pam Bondi went straight to Trump and told him he was in it. And they launched a massive cover-up scheme to keep the Department of Justice files from being released. It's a con, a stall tactic, a manufactured excuse. They're going to pretend they wanted transparency, but golly, their hands are tied. And all of it is designed to protect one person. Donald Trump. Because if those files cleared him, they'd already be on every TV screen in America. He'd be waving them around at rallies like a trophy. But he didn't. And that's why Mike Johnson, standing there playing confused, is so sickening. Because at the end of the day, Mike Johnson isn't defending family values. He's defending the wall that keeps the truth locked away. He's the one standing between survivors and justice. He's the guy blocking accountability, protecting the powerful, and helping cover up a system that enabled predators while victims were ignored. Jamie Raskin is standing with the survivors. Mike Johnson is standing in the way. And history's not going to forget which side he chose. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.